What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another vlog. Now, as you can see, I am no longer in New York. Thank you. I finally traveled with you guys. I haven't traveled since I started the vlog, but I traveled tons of times before I started the vlog. And today, I just arrived not too long ago to Atlanta, Georgia. Houston, we have a problem, a big problem. I'm gonna go back inside and fix this. Plus, there's a lot of issues why I'm just not gonna record outside. A lot of issues. Okay, so I got it fixed, and I got it fixed in the strangest way ever. You put the broken leg inside of the freezer for a few minutes. You take the empty void where the broken leg connects, and you heat it up. This is metal, right? Metal gets softer, the plastic shrinks when it gets colder. After a few minutes, you jam it right in there. Back to new. Now that that's fixed, I didn't stay outside. Reason one was I did not bring my ND filter, which sucks because I really need the ND filter when I do vlogs outdoors. 2, the planes flying by. 3, my Gorilla Pod wasn't working, so I couldn't mount it on the deck anymore. But I'm back inside, and let's just continue with the vlog. So the reason why I came to Atlanta was to visit my family. It's always good to see a family every once in a while, catch up on good things, fun and jokes and party and all kinds of hot mess stuff. But more importantly, I do want to change gears because today's video is going to be a nice, smooth video, and I am going to cover the basics of using a DSLR. So if you're new to photography, if you're new to filmmaking, if you're new to a DSLR, this video is for you to understand some buttons and controls, the basics, the bare minimum basics. You may see buttons and symbols and numbers and things on your camera, and you don't really know what they mean. So today I'm just gonna cover a small amount of things that's on your camera, your DSLR. I do shoot with Canon, not Nikon, not Sony, but these basics will be on those cameras as well. First up, you should see an on and off switch on your camera. No, I'm just joking, that's too basic. I'm not going that basic. If you don't know what on and off, I'm not even gonna go there. All right, let's get started. So if you have that nice official DSLR, now, if you just got a DSLR, I highly encourage you to use the fully automatic settings on the camera when you first start shooting. There's a big reason why I'm telling you to do this, and the reason is to gain confidence in the photos that you take. Now, the camera will do everything for you automatically, all the settings, all the exposure controls, and your pictures they'll look good. It'll add some flash if your camera has a flash. It'll match the lighting and things like that. And the automatic photos actually come out really well. Do that for like a week. Week 2, I want you to turn your camera to fully manual settings. Now, once you're in fully manual, it's where the camera basics start to kick in. Now, I want you to build that confidence because once you put that camera in manual, you're gonna be producing straight garbage for the next 2 weeks, next 3 weeks, maybe the next 3 months, to be honest with you. It's a learning experience, and you learn your scenarios as you go and how to control your specific camera. All right, so this is gonna be like a crash course. This is not gonna be like a super detailed, but this is gonna get you on your feet and get you going with your DSLR. So I'm gonna make it quick for you guys. When you take a picture, you're capturing light. There are 3 main settings in your camera that help you capture this light. ISO, ISO on your camera. You have your shutter speed on your camera. You have your shutter speed, which is going to be a number, a fraction of a second or a second. You'll see that in your camera. Most of the time, your dial on your camera that you scroll controls your shutter speed. And then you have your aperture. Aperture is more of a lens feature for all three things. Combined is what really creates your photo, how your photo is exposed, if it's too bright, if it's too dark, if it's blurry, if it's clear. These settings right here, you saw that I put 4. These 3 settings right here will get you on your feet and get you started with taking great photos in manual mode. Put your camera in manual mode. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to put your camera in manual mode. It is gonna be the most beneficial thing you can do with your DSLR. Right here, I'm just gonna dive in. Now, when you press ISO on your camera, you're gonna get an option. Depending on the camera, you get options from, let's say, 100 all the way up to, let's say, 56,000. Let me tell you what ISO is. ISO is basically digital light. You're adding digital light to your photo to compensate for a dark room, or if it's nighttime, you want to compensate, you want to add more light, but you're adding digital light. So in my opinion is, when you have a lot of ISO, it introduces too much grain to your photo, which is unwanted grain. You do not want grain in your photos. I mean, unless you're looking to take grainy photos, which is of style. So for the most part, if you're just beginning, I don't think you want to, I don't know, but it's going to add grain to your photos. All right, 1 minute. These guys are outside blowing leaves and cutting grass, and I've been bouncing around the house trying to get away from them, but their machines are so loud. I'm not waiting for them anymore. Actually, let's get some light in here. So you're most likely looking for somewhere to start. Each scenario for each photo is gonna be different. What type of photo you're taking. If it's an action shot, if it's a landscape shot, if it's a portrait, it's always gonna be different. But where I normally start is ISO at the lowest possible number. I always keep it down to 100. Stick with 100 as a start. Once you understand your settings, you're gonna be like, okay, cool, I can add a little more ISO. This is what I do. So shutter speed. Shutter speed has 2 functions. This is 4. Shutter speed has 2 functions. The 2 functions are capturing movement, motion blur or no blur, right? That's capturing movement. And the second is capturing light as well. Now, when I say capturing light is the shutter speed, it happens in the fraction of a second or it happens in seconds. It could be 1, 2. No, actually it's like 1, 2, close. That much light just got into your camera. Now, if you do a fraction of a second, that much light just got into your camera. Not that much light is getting into my camera, so my photo is gonna come out darker, right? That's the lighting aspect of shutter speed. When you think about the motion blur, which these two go hand in hand, no matter what, you have to consider both. You can't just consider, hey, I want my picture to be lighter, I'm gonna use a slower shutter speed. The reason why is when you use a slower shutter speed and that shutter opens up, whatever's inside that frame, if it's moving, the shutter is gonna capture that movement. So the faster the shutter is, if you do your shutter at 1/4000th of a second, you can catch someone running mid-air, everything freeze frame, no blurred lines, everything sharp, everything crisp. Now, if you would take that same photo at, let's say, 1/100th of a second, if you take it at 1/100th of a second, you might get that blur at the foot or at the hand as it's moving, as the shutter is not fast enough. So the basic concept is slower shutter speed, which means it opens longer. Slower shutter speed, you get more motion blur and you get more light. That's what you benefit from. More motion blur, more light. Faster shutter speed, you get no motion blur and you get no light, which can be beneficial. It depends on your scenario. You may want this, you may not want this for your photo, but it's good to know the difference. So we up to my favorite. This one right here is my favorite. If you are interested in blurring background, you want your f-stop or your aperture to be 1.2 to 2.8, and maybe you can get away with 3.5. Now, when your aperture is at 1.2, 1.8, 2.8, 3.5, whenever it's in this lower range of numbers, your lens is allowing a lot more light into your camera, which means your photo will be brighter, much brighter. Now you have to compensate with your other exposure settings, your shutter speed and your ISO. This is where they all play hand in hand with each other to create one photo. Now, if you want everything in focus in your photo, if I want myself in focus, if I want these doors back here in focus, I will bump up that number and I will put it at like F10. My photo or my scene is much darker now because that number has increased, which means it's shrinking. The aperture, the actual aperture is shrinking, which allows less light. So like F22 is like this big. It's like tiny, not that much light gets into that. But then you want like 1.2 and it's just like, whoa. Your aperture ranges from, let's say, 1.2 all the way to 22. You're like, where's this number on my camera? Usually it says aperture, or it may say f1.2 or f1.4, f1.8. So challenge yourself, guys. Go out, think about the type of photo that you want to take, think about the settings that I just explained, and find them. First of all, locate them on your camera. You want to locate your ISO, you want to locate your shutter, and you want to locate your aperture. You have to play with all three pretty much simultaneously. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment if you so desire to, and I'll see you all in the next one. There's nothing down there, it's the floor. Oh God, peace, guys.